What's up YouTube? I'm Mike and today I'm back with another white tea video, which means that I am going to be making some rather bold and likely controversial claims in this video, as seems to, I don't know why that is. I don't know what it is about the white tea. Several of you have commented about, oh shit, he's got the white tea on, it's about to be a banger. I don't know what it is. I think if I have the white tea on, you know that I've been home all day, and sitting in this house makes me rather contrarian. It seems like. I don't know why that is, but it does. Today what we're talking about is, as you probably have already noticed from the title that you clicked on, testosterone replacement therapy is dead. That's right. Testosterone replacement therapy in the modern era, I'm here to claim, makes no further sense. In a roundabout, sort of unironic way, this video is being brought to you by the good people at Royal Medical Center, who I'm actually a sponsored athlete by. So if you happen to disagree with this video, you can go to Royal Medical Center and you can get a discount on your now unnecessary testosterone replacement therapy using code MikeFit and get a 6-month discount. It's because of Royal Medical Center and their inability to pull the proper labs during my care that I had no end of nightmares with managing my estrogen level. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, then you know that one of the reasons that I was having nightmares with this estrogen level that seemed to be going up and down and causing perpetual broken D game is because the geniuses at Royal Medical Centers were pulling non-sensitive estradiol tests on a steroid-using athlete who told them I was completely transparent. Hey guys, I don't need you to control my estrogen. I already know how to do it. I use a lot of anabolics. And so they, in their infinite idiocy, were pulling non-sensitive estradiol tests. So I kept chasing this crazy high estrogen level that was not real to begin with. Because I had so many nightmares trying to dial my estrogen into the sweet spot, I decided to quit the game and I dropped all of the testosterone out of my cycle several months ago. I have been running no majorly aromatizable compounds. So all I've been running in various doses for the past like 3 months now is Deca, which on paper does aromatize, Masteron, which does not, and Tren, which does not. So I got out. I'm not going to go into all of the gory details in this video because I've already beat this point to death a million times. But the short version is I took all of the testosterone out of my system until my testosterone crashed into the toilet, and then I started administering estradiol valerate until I got my testosterone level to come right back into the center of the range, which is where I sit right now. In my body, that is requiring 0.15 milligrams of estradiol valerate every other day. That keeps me in the dead center end of the range for a male. So since doing this, what I wanted to test was, do we really need bioidentical testosterone in our systems? The bro science for basically forever and the medical science has told us that we always have to have testosterone as our base to any cycle or in any replacement context, because without testosterone, you don't have anything to aromatize into estrogen. If I was to stop taking estradiol valerate, my estrogen levels would crash into the toilet because I don't have enough aromatizable compounds in my system. Some people believe that nandrolone aromatizes and or upregulates the estrogen receptor, and I'm here to tell you not at 300 milligrams, because at 300 milligrams of Deca per week, my estrogen was still in the toilet. It wasn't even measurable. Hang on, I gotta get a drink. I just got through eating a steak. So here's your ASMR sip moment. That was really more kind of a slurp, wasn't it? Hey, what do you guys think of my pink cup? See what happens when you inject estrogen? You inject estrogen, all of a sudden you're walking around with a pink cup. Nevertheless, what I'm here to report, and the interesting thing about this experiment is it's really kind of bringing my channel full circle. I did a video ages ago. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it while I'm talking about this. I believe the video was me calling out Greg Doucette, saying that he was wrong about Trenbolone. I will try to find at least the research report and link it into this video. Maybe I might try. Cause see, this is the thing, guys. I've gotten to the point where I don't really give a shit if anybody believes me or not. I've been doing all of these experiments on my body, and I am reaping the rewards of it. And if you don't believe me and you don't want to reap the rewards, it's like, cool, I don't even give a shit anymore. So there was a research paper done some time ago where they tested Trenbolone, low doses of Trenbolone versus high doses of testosterone. You could probably just search that up on Google and find the study yourself. The Cliff's Notes version is that what they found was that low-dose Trenbolone produced better replacement effects in the human body. Actually, I think it was done in rats, honestly, than high doses of testosterone. So high doses of testosterone are problematic because testosterone 5-alpha reduces into DHT. So anytime you're using testosterone, some amount of it is going to 5-alpha reduce into DHT, which can cause male pattern balding, swelling of the prostate, all of the things that we basically don't want during our steroid cycles, you get via the 5-alpha reduction pathway. This is why a lot of guys are scared to death to use certain anabolics because they think it's going to knock the hair off their head. Interestingly, the anabolic they seem to be most concerned with is Masteron, which I'm here to report does not knock the hair off your head. I'm running it at 800 milligrams a week, and I might be coming up with a video soon to tell you that my hair is growing back where I lost it after getting off of testosterone. If this ends up being true, this will be the ultimate game changer, maybe the biggest thing to happen in the bodybuilding space in a long time. So when I went off of testosterone completely, I was concerned that I was going to experience side effects, negative side effects of the absence of testosterone in my body. I just thought, you know, how could you not need testosterone, right? It's so ingrained in us that you have to have this testosterone base for two reasons. One, we need 5-alpha reduction into DHT, so we thought, and we need aromatase expression to get us to a stable concentration of estradiol. Well, the first part, with the estradiol pathway, I proved very early on is not a problem at all. In fact, I have never felt better in my entire life than since I've been, replacing, than I do now with stable concentrations of estradiol. The improvement to my D game, the improvement to my sexual function has never been better for this protracted period of time. I have been having libido and sexual performance that has only been equaled in my life by being like 18 or the very first time I ran Proviron. The very first time I ran Proviron, I had raging out of control libido. My wife and I were going at it twice a day. I was sending her very adult messages all day long in the car, during the day at work. She was concerned like this guy's going to rag me out at this rate. This is the closest I have ever been in the last 5 years to a sustainable level of supraphysiological amounts of libido and sexual function. And that was the goal all along. I've been saying all along that my D game performs normally the vast majority of the time. I'm not looking for normal performance. I'm looking for abnormal, supraphysiological ability to stay hard as long as I want, to finish on command, there's all of these things I've talked about at detail. I'm not getting into in this video again. I am getting every single one of those benefits from running absolutely no testosterone and controlling my estrogen with estradiol valerate. Now, the Cliff's Notes to this is I am using 219 Nor drugs. And in the beginning, because of all of the problems that I had with mint and crashing my prolactin, and the fact that I was saying that I needed cabergoline in order to control my gyno, and in order to control my depression, and in order to control my decade, I had convinced myself of that. But then when I went to do the actual science to back it up, the numbers on the paper were not showing. The numbers on the paper were showing that, in fact, I had a low level of prolactin in my system. And so that told me I must be wrong, and I stopped taking the cabergoline. The first half of this no testosterone experiment was plagued by gyno and shoddy D game, to the point that my wife was like, maybe you should just go back on T. Maybe you should just give up this experiment, go back on testosterone replacement, just go back to 200 milligrams of test. You know that works. You can take 1.5 milligrams of Arimidex, and we can just end this suffering, basically, because I have been suffering for almost a year with these experiments. And before I did that, like literally the day that I was going to give up this experiment, I told her, look, I'm not going to give up on the estrogen yet, because I have not confirmed that I have gone high yet. I have not gotten any symptoms of high E2. So before, I want to raise the dose. At that time, I was at like I don't remember what it was, 0.10 milligrams every other day or something. And my functioning was there, but it was not, I didn't have any libido. I was able to function, but I really didn't have any drive. When I raised my estrogen up a hair more, that pushed me into the middle to the top end of the range, my libido started to come back, but I was still having D-game problems. All of the D-game problems I was experiencing were completely consistent with Decade. So I decided to ignore the paperwork. I started cabergoline again at 1/4 milligram a week, and within the first week, things started getting better. My D-game came roaring back in full fashion, but I was still having trouble finishing at this point. So I added another 1/4 milligram. I am currently taking 3/4 milligram of cabergoline per week, and every single one of the mission objectives that I had in the beginning have been fulfilled. I have no gyno. I have perfectly controllable D game. I can control my finish. I can control my stamina. I can get up and ready for the game at the drop of a dime. I have consistent morning wood. I have consistent desire for my wife. And every single one of the other metrics in my life as it pertains to androgens are firing on all cylinders. My strength is amazing. My gym performance is amazing. My aesthetic has never been this good. I am dry and vascular and peeled. I am getting every single thing I ever wanted from anabolics. And I have perfectly controlled estradiol, which is something that you just basically cannot do when you're constantly changing testosterone levels or adding various aromatizable compounds. So the experiment that I'm eventually going to be doing is to prove once and for all that testosterone is a terrible drug to use for hormone replacement therapy in men. I believe that what that study reported, the study that I was talking about, high-dose testosterone versus low-dose trenbolone, I will try to link it. You can look it up. At the bottom of the study authors came to the conclusion that low-dose trenbolone needed to be looked at as a possible replacement hormone for men. The power of low-dose trenbolone is that you get a more anabolic, more androgenic drug than testosterone at substantially lower doses than are required by testosterone, and you get a tissue-selective drug at that. Trenbolone is basically a selective androgen receptor modulator. You get all of the benefits of an androgen with none of the negatives. You don't get the benign prostate enlargement. You don't get the at low doses. You don't get the lipid profile hammering. You don't get the increased blood pressure. Low dose trenbolone gives you every single thing that testosterone gives you and more without the side effects. I am here to report that 50 milligrams to 70 milligrams of trenbolone per week is likely the ideal replacement dose for a man who is not even looking for performance enhancing abilities. You're going to get some, trust me. you are going to feel better, be stronger, have better performance in every facet of your life on 50 to 70 milligrams of Trenbolone with estradiol valerate alongside it than you are ever going to get from 200 milligrams of testosterone. 50 to 70 milligrams of Trenbolone is far superior to 200 milligrams of testosterone, which is the typical replacement dose, in every conceivable way. It is going to be better for you on your biomarkers. It is going to be better for you in the gym. It is going to be better for you in the bedroom. It is going to be better for you in the boardroom. It is just better across the board. Trenbolone is a far, far, far superior drug to testosterone in every measurable way. Because of this, and because of the fact that anytime you are taking testosterone, you also need Arimidex, you need HCG. Admittedly, I'm still using HCG, but it's not like there's a one drug fits all modality. Some people will tell you mint. I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. I would rather take low dose Trenbolone, which means I probably would not need any cabergoline, but even if I did, it would be a low dose, and injections of estradiol valerate rather than taking testosterone and Arimidex. The effects that you get across the board from using Trenbolone as a replacement drug are superior in every single way. There's no other way for me to break this down. I will probably never go to Trenbolone alone. I cannot, at this point in the game, imagine not having some amount of Deca in the mix and likely some amount of Masteron. So where I am currently blasting at, because I am blasting again, I'm currently taking 800 milligrams of Masteron E per week, 300 milligrams of Deca per week, 250 milligrams of Tren Ace per week, and I have recently been taking 50 milligrams of Anadrol per day. I'm feeling very, very good on this cycle. Admittedly, these doses are causing a bit of anxiety and agitation. Sometimes I have to go for walks in the evening. I am now perfectly stable on the 250 milligrams of Tren and happy to report that it is not causing any further relationship problems. The come up on Trenbolone is a major, major factor. I have been stable at 250 now for a little over a week. It's causing me no problems at work. It's causing me no problems at home. It's causing me no problems on the road. It will potentially cause anybody who steps to me a major problem, because while the Trenbolone is very controllable at 250 milligrams, I am cocked and ready to go at any given moment. Don't let me mislead you into believing that it is not still psychoactive. It is very psychoactive. I could absolutely snap and melt down on my wife or anyone else in the blink of an eye if I felt like they stepped out of line. But once you stabilize on the drug, it's not nagging you anymore. It's not pushing you consistently to push the limits. It's just like they're on demand. If you need it basically turns you into a lion. That's what it does. Trenbolone makes you a lion. It makes you the alpha predator of the jungle. The lion spends most of his day just laying under the tree. He's not bothering anybody, but if somebody steps into his domain, he is going to take them down with incredible ferocity. That is what Trenbolone does for you. It will allow you to go to work, to lay under the tree, to hang out with your wife and your kids, but if something happens that you need on-demand aggression, on-demand confidence, on-demand anything, it is just lying in wait right under the surface, ready to give you everything you need. This is more or less true even at what I consider to be replacement doses. And at replacement doses, hormone replacement doses, 50 to 70 milligrams a week, you are not going to have the nagging psychological problems that I do experience even at 250 milligrams. So right now, I'm actually sleeping very well. But without the cabergoline at these doses, I would be a total disaster. Cabergoline for me is absolutely mandatory to run 19 NORs at the volumes that I'm running them. Again, if I was down to replacement doses alone, I don't think I would require it. Maybe a quarter milligram a week. So there you have it. I don't want to beat this point to death forever. I've got other content that I want to produce. I've been putting clips up on my TikTok, Trinity1 on TikTok, and my TikTok is blowing up. One of the clips has got 26,000 views, so I started going live on TikTok last night. I may do more of that. I haven't decided. My lives on YouTube make much more money, but TikTok might be the better platform in the long run once I grow my audience there. So my wife and I are having a lot of fun with that. Where I stand today I cannot honestly see ever going back on testosterone again. I would much rather run the more tissue selective drugs like Masteron, Primobolan, Trenbolone. Deca obviously is great for joint support. I just don't see the need to use testosterone ever again and to fight the nightmare of the hormonal swings that comes with the fact that there is just, in my experience, no great way of controlling estrogen over the long term. This is the longest period of time that I have been able to maintain good quality libido, and psychologically I just feel substantially better without the hormonal swings caused by estrogen. It is very interesting that, you know, women are historically the ones that are considered to be emotional, and we have fought this with my wife with her progesterone levels and her estrogen levels and her what's the other level? There's 3 of them in there, maybe. Oh, testosterone. And so she's in the same boat where she's taking control of everything so that she has little to no swings. She injects estradiol. She takes oral progesterone. She takes Primobolan. So the both of us have found ways to control all of the various hormones in our bodies and take our bodies out of the equation. This is the new millennium. This is the new era. This is time to stop living in the past. All of the old school ideas are being replaced, and I think testosterone replacement is the next one to go. The whole reason we have drugs like Trenbolone and Primobolan is because these are more advanced, more tissue selective, better quality drugs that come with less side effects. And it is time that we start leveraging these drugs to control our bodies in much better ways instead of living in the ancient past, tethered to the bodies that the hormones that our bodies make naturally, which is always funny to me. Guys want to try to mimic their body's natural production to the closest they can get. And it's like, well, then why don't you just stay natty? If you think that your body is so smart, that it was designed so well naturally, why don't you just stay natty? Once you realize that you cannot have the performance in the bedroom, in the gym, in the boardroom that you want with natural level of hormones, once you decide, hey, I need more testosterone or more of this, it just logically follows that you just throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's no sense in sticking to old school hormones at all. We have the science, the reason that so many of these drugs exist is because they've been trying to find something that is superior to testosterone, something that they can give people that doesn't have the same negative androgenic effects. These drugs exist. It's just that no one but me apparently is doing the very hard work of beta testing this in a real environment and getting everything stabilized. Estradiol valerate, non-aromatizable compounds, specifically 19-nors and DHT derivatives, alongside cabergoline, is the absolute best metric, the best cocktail I have found yet. It covers every single base, and there's several other people who are starting to jump on this bandwagon. So if anybody else wants to try this, I highly recommend it. Insofar as I can recommend anything that doesn't include you breaking the law. This is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. The other great thing is that estradiol is not controlled. And so you can make your own at home in whatever concentration you want. My wife and I just brewed up another batch last night. It's incredibly easy. Took no time at all. And I can dose it however I want. So there you have it. Thank you again to Royal Medical Center for being complete and total morons, ordering all of the wrong work, doing everything you could possibly do wrong because your idiocy led me to my discovery. I am now feeling better than I have ever felt, maybe in life, because of the stupid BS that you people pulled. You showed me the way. Testosterone is not necessary in our bodies. We can replace it with better, more powerful, more controllable hormones. And so, again, thank you to you guys for showing me the way and for everybody who's been supporting this channel for a long time. I appreciate you. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.